Good afternoon. Today in Business Success in 6 with Stacie, I have Joel White on the line here from Vitense Golfland in Madison. Thanks so much for jumping on with us today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
It's my pleasure. So you have a really fun business that a lot of people, just about anybody, can relate to and have a good time at. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you 6 questions and we'll try and keep it to about 6 minutes and learn about your business. Is that okay?
Wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you. So when people ask you how you describe your business, how do you describe it?
There are a lot of ways to describe it. We have so many different activities, but generally, I would say it's a primarily golf-based recreation and entertainment facility. We have a lot of different parts of it. Our biggest areas are year-round golf range, which is heated and covered. And then we have indoor miniature golf and outdoor miniature golf. So those are our two largest components. And the other thing we added a few years ago, which has been even more meaningful and significant, is our signature hole grill and bar, where we do provide service to the golf range and what we call our golf suites.
Wow, that is cool. So really you are catering to all age ranges and abilities, like capabilities too, if you're serving food, if you have indoor, outdoor.
Yeah, it's very challenging, I guess, when someone comes in from a TV station or a radio station and wants us to advertise with them, and they will say, "Who is your customer?" Well, okay, where do you want to start? We have the batting cages, that's part of it. So I guess softball players, little league players, that type of thing. We also have a lit 9-hole golf course, the first and only lit golf course in the state. And that's open
Wow.
till in the summer till 11:30 at night. And that can attract a wide variety of golfers just because of the unique opportunity there to play it at night. And miniature golf really can be anyone. So that's more of a general audience we can advertise to. And then we have the pure golfers, of course, for the golf course and our golf range. And now with our expanded entertainment type of facility at the golf range with our golf suites, it's been much more encompassing of the market, where 20% of the population roughly plays golf. Now that's even more now since COVID evolved in 2020. Now, someone who comes to our golf suites probably, I would say, encompasses maybe 60 to 80% of the population, even though
Wow.
it's golf, which is really interesting and nice.
Totally. That is wonderful. So when you started your business, what were your plans and how have they changed?
Well, in my former career, you could say, I was a CPA working in Minneapolis at a large accounting firm. So I
Okay.
was an auditor and had this business to return to this facility that my grandfather and grandmother started in 1955. So it's been here 67 years already. So
Wow.
I left that accounting firm after 7 years and came here in 1992. And my focus at that time was just to improve on the infrastructure we had, which at that time, we've had the golf range since day one. It
Okay.
was very traditional in that capacity. So my goal was to keep making that better and better with better accommodations for grass tee areas, mats, and usual things that you'd see at a golf range. And then, of course, continuing to improve and remodeling all our miniature golf courses. It was built in the early 60s, so it was a very traditional old style of miniature golf. And we have spent a lot of time and money over the last 30 years just to continue to improve. And then rain, of course, was a limitation, heat. So all these different elements that affected our business in our peak season. So after that, my goal was to expand this operation and make it year round, which we've really been focusing on lately.
That's so cool. Absolutely. So when did you actually introduce the indoor golf course too? Just out of curiosity.
Well, in 2001, my wife and I bought the business here, and that was 10 days before 9/11, which was interesting, September 1st of 2001. So what a shocking way to start ownership of a business. And 5 years later, we built this 20,000 square foot building. And that's when we really began the year round operation. We have a full length, full size 18-hole indoor miniature golf course, which is themed after Madison. This is regular miniature golf, but
Mhm.
then combined with recreation equipment like our outside. We have built-in slides and things like that. And the indoor course also has an educational component, which describes each landmark of Madison that exists on that course. And then we have sponsors on those too, which explains their company and some of the history of their company. So that has really added a lot. And then the other goal with that was to have direct access to our golf range covered. So you did not have to go out in the elements again. We started our signature hole grill and bar. We had a beer and wine license that we obtained in 2006.
Congratulations on that.
Yes, thank you.
That can be challenging to get, but it's also, I know a lot of Wisconsin folks appreciate that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're in the right state for that.
Absolutely. So I know you've already talked about some of the ways that you're impacting the community by educating them in your indoor golf course on history, whatnot, and landmarks. What's another way that you impact the community?
Based on the type of business we are, being recreation and entertainment, where we're fortunate to have a lot of people come out here and want to have some fun. We're attractive as far as donations to a lot of the fundraising organizations, wide variety of entities that profit, nonprofit, that request passes to our facility, whether it be for miniature golf, our golf course, golf range, whatever it may be. So we pretty much support every request that we get, which is hundreds. But the biggest way I think we contribute is just as a destination to escape the day-to-day lifestyle. You come out here to have fun, play miniature golf, experience Toptracer and the golf ranges. So I think we're a real resource. Golf really had a huge boom, unfortunately due to COVID, but we're a safe outside activity, and that really triggered a lot of people coming out just to get outdoors and do something during this pandemic.
Yeah, I can relate to that too. The second we were allowed to open up, we got golf carts that we could push. So I could take the boys out and go golfing, because you couldn't use the golf carts at first in some facilities. So thank you for being able to open up during that time and providing that, and also just connecting generations, like, for example, that was something with my boys as they started to get older. Oh, how can I hang out with my boys? Oh, take them to Golfland, or,
Right.
So thank you for doing that. Talking about challenges with COVID, what is a challenge that you have faced that other business owners could learn from?
The most challenging thing that I experienced, and it was very financially stressful, was when I was describing earlier how we really had a goal of making this a year-round operation. So here we built a 20,000 square foot building when basically we operated out of a shack. So
Wow.
to some degree, you could call a leap of faith, as our accountant at the time called it. And really, it required to have a lot of confidence and belief in our product and service, and just to think that it would be worth the investment. And I'm really fortunate that it did not happen in 2008 prior to the Great Recession, because what was stressful, I had no money to really expand. So I had a really nice relationship with our bank. And through that, I was able to get a long-term fixed rate note. I don't recommend it to that point, but sometimes you just got to make a step. You try to do it in a reasonable, as safe manner as you can, try to reduce the risk. But sometimes it just pays to take that step, and it's a challenge. And it's not guaranteed, but I just felt really good about our location, the changes we were making. So those were some rough years during the Great Recession.
I bet.
It's very unfortunate that occurred right after we built this thing.
Very, very challenging. I would imagine, though, you said you're a former CPA, so you also, could think from both sides of the brain, the creative side, but also the realistic side. So that's a great skill that you have. So what does the future look like for you? And do you have an exit plan?
Well, the future is bright with the technology that's developed. For example, the Toptracer is owned by Topgolf, and what it is a ball tracking system. It provides practice and then all these different modes of entertainment. Virtual golf we allow in the range. So the technology just gets better and better. And the concept of having golf suites and the other things we can do with miniature golf, there are just a lot of opportunities for us to continue to expand this business. And we're fortunate to be at a great location right here on the Beltline Highway. Been here since 1955. So I think we have a lot of opportunity just to continue to evolve, which we're doing. We've made changes over many years. So try to make ourselves better and better every year.
That is so exciting.
About the succession plan.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, please. Thank you.
Well, that's always an interesting question. That's something my wife has wanted me to plan for a long time, since day one. Well, there are only a certain number of ways that I see we can do this. My wife and I, as we continue to grow this business. One is just to sell the business, but we're in an interesting situation because we have these different entities that they're all family related, but the partnership that owns the land has a lease agreement with the business I own. So there are a little more complexities that we have to deal with, but that certainly is one option, or having someone in our family to continue the operation. Of course, in today's world and Madison's economic environment, with the interest in developing property for apartments, you see cranes here everywhere. So I've been approached more lately than I ever have, but we're pretty content with where we're at and expanding the business, using it much more efficiently with the acreage that we have, the 30 acres we have here. So those are probably the most realistic options, and we continue to hone those as we move forward.
Sure. Well, and continue to have fun in the meantime, right? And allow other people to have fun. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's an interesting point there, because I started here February 18th of 1992. So I've been here over 30 years. And one thing I almost have to kick myself to, it seems like it's not reality, but not one day out of those 30 years is what I felt like I've been at work, which is quite amazing.
That is incredible. And if everybody, I think, aspires to that, right? To feel excited to go to work and to.
It was very different than my CPA world. I'll say that.
I bet it was.
And we're fortunate that we're at a scale that we're big enough to have people that can work in more specific areas like HR, which we never had. But being the size we are now, it really helps, and helps my wife and I to get away here a little more often, and just to have more, just more comfort and not having to be here all the time. Belief in our staff and the product we have.
That's wonderful. So all subjects open. What inspires you most?
What inspires me is just the opportunity I have here, and to see all the improvements that we can make, and just seeing all the smiles on people's faces and laughing. I just love to see people having a great time. And the more amenities, the better amenities we offer. I just see more and more of that. So it really just makes things so satisfying and rewarding when you see that. So my goal would be just to continue to enhance what we offer, to make it hopefully just a better community asset that people can come out and enjoy their life doing something a little different out here.
Absolutely. So if people want to visit your website, is that the best way for them to potentially come in, book some top tracer time, get a gift certificate? What should people do?
You can find the information at vitense.com. It'll explain everything we offer. But it's nothing like the true experience of coming out here and then really seeing what we offer. It's hard to describe what a golf suite is, and you really can't quite understand it or grasp it until you're out here. But then once you go down in that environment, and we have the grill and bar service directly on the range, that's where it becomes a very unique experience.
Well, thank you so much for the time that you took to share your business with us. I know I have been there in a team building setting. So our whole business team came out and hit some balls, and everybody had different experience levels. So I first and foremost would like to say it's absolutely fun. So thank you so much for your time again, Joel. You have
Well, thank you for visiting, and thank you for your time. This has been fun.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.